Greetings, YouTubians, and welcome back to Wayne Sharp World, where today we are finally able to take a look at a knife that I have been patiently and impatiently waiting for probably, I think, going on 2 years now, if not maybe a little over 2 years. This knife has had multiple iterations. It's finally here. We're not waiting any longer. What I'm talking about is the Artisan Cutlery Satyr. Now, before I go any further into this review, I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in today. If you like what you see, please do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button, follow along, and I will continue to bring you the content. Now, let's take a look at some overall specs on this knife right here. We have an overall length coming in at 7.76 inches, a blade length at 3.35 inches, and a blade thickness at 130 thousandths. Blade material on this guy is S90V with a drop point style blade, a flat grind, a handle length coming in at 4.41 inches, and a handle material of titanium with a frame lock locking mechanism and a user of a right hand only tip-up carry. Weight coming in at 3.85 ounces, designed by Chris Ortiz of Cerberus Knives, and a price coming in at what I think is a pretty darn reasonable $199.99. So $200. And yeah, for $200, I don't really have many complaints. I do have one little complaint that we'll go over when we get to that section, which is actually coming up here very soon. Not a huge complaint, and it could very well be fixable. I've got to kind of look a little more at it and maybe ask you guys for some advice because I struggle with this sometimes. But let's take a look at some size comparisons first and see just what we have here, which is one damn sexy, really nice size knife. But let's compare it to some other ones. The Spyderco Paramilitary 2, as well as the Vosteed Thunderbird, I think would make some pretty good comparisons there. And yeah, line up pretty well. A little shorter than both, but I kind of expected it to be shorter than the PM2. Usually the PM2, the handle, you guys know this, you know the drill. The handle always is a little longer than all the other knives. Comparing it to another CJRB, here's the Echo. And let's keep the Ray Laconico theme going here and bring out the Civivi. Wow. The Civivi. It's a Civivi. Well, I'll remember the name probably randomly through the review. But yes, there we go. That Civivi and that CJRB. And it actually lines up perfectly with the Civivi that I idiotically have forgotten the name of at the moment. But yeah, there you go. Very, very nice size comparison there. And let's get to talking about the knife and this blade. First of all, this design in general. Chris is very particular with his designs. He's every little detail, it doesn't get by him, and you can tell it in this design because it really does. Like, it is such a complete design. I have met Chris before in person. He's a hell of a nice guy, and he is very, very talented. If you haven't looked his work up, check him out on Cerberus Knives on probably like Instagram. Makes some little fixed blades. He does all sorts of little things. Very talented guy, and as you can see here, this shows that he knocked this design out of the park. And Artisan Cutlery, I think, did a really good job of bringing it all to one final product, and I think they did a really good job for the most part. Blade here, we're looking at 22 thousandths behind the edge, and what I like about this blade is, first of all, the spine has a really nice line to it. Very nice leading lines. It kind of goes well with the handle. But most importantly, from a functionality standpoint, the blade itself has like this constant belly going on. There's really no point. Maybe down here it flattens out a little, but pretty much throughout the entire sharpened edge, it's almost like a constant belly. And that can come in very, very handy. And it works really well, let me tell you that. Really nice edge on this guy, very slicey, nice slicey tip, and yeah, just good to go in the blade department. Pretty nice sharpening choil down there. So yeah, they didn't really leave any stones unturned here in terms of the details to the blade. And then you get into the handle, and even the handle, there's really, personally, nothing that I would pick on it. The milling is fantastic, nice, kind of like a micro milling, but you still feel it. It's not minimal enough to where you don't notice it. And it feels really, really good in the hand. You get that little bit of grip and texture from the milling. The pocket clip on this guy is For me, it is a perfect milled clip. First of all, it looks amazing. I mean, it is sleek, it's subtle, it's not too big. They continued the milling on the clip, which is very, very nice. There's a hidden screw, so the screw comes in through the bottom there. So this screw goes all the way through into the clip there, which is an excellent way to construct a knife. Less hardware and just better aesthetics. Also very important to note, all of the hardware is T8, so you don't got to mess around with any T6s on this. That's a beautiful thing. Another thing I forgot to mention about the blade was the logo placement. I really, really like where they put that. Very, very subtle and discreet, out of the way, just up where it can be seen. That's like a chef's kiss touch on it. It's fantastic. Love that they did that. And of course you have Cerberus Knives Maker Mark there, which is pretty cool. It's I can't totally actually make out what it is. It's kind of like some type of like demon face or something like that. But yeah, nice Maker's Mark, nice blade, nice minimal blade branding in general. So an excellent job there. And very nice lock bar access on this guy. It's very, very easy to get in there and close the blade, which does lead me to my one little complaint. And this isn't something to where, like, I feel like it's not quite as big of a deal anymore, but you don't see it as much. But I don't know how this happened, but the blade got off center on me. So it happened as I got out of the box, started carrying it for a couple days, and I noticed it got off on me. I thought maybe the pivot needed to be tightened. I tightened the pivot. That didn't really do anything. So then I took it apart a couple times and tried to just, kind of like even everything up. Sometimes if you just tighten certain screws and pivots, try and get everything the same, it kind of evens itself out. And I just haven't been able to do it. So I'm not going to really deduct much from because of that, because it's also, while it is off-centered, and nowadays there's not many knives in this price category that are going to come off-centered. It's not like, it's obvious, it's not touching. It's not even close to touching. So it's more of just a visual thing, to be completely honest. But I still really want to fix it, and I've tried and tried. If anyone out there has any tips on how to fix a little off-centering like this, and as you can see, it's really not much. Like just a hair over to the clip side, and it would be perfect. So if you have any tips out there, please let me know, because I'm willing to try anything. I still love this knife, though. That's kind of my thing here, is I've waited for this for so long. It came out, and in my opinion, in terms of an execution standpoint, it was pretty much what I expected. I've seen a couple prototypes of it, and I'm not disappointed. Actually really, really happy with the finished product. I just wish that blade was centered because it drives me crazy. It's more my OCD than anything. But one thing that I really like about this is, and you won't hear me say this a lot, I usually would never say something like this. This would almost be blasphemy to me. But there was one version of this Seder that had a front flipper tab on it. And it wasn't like a huge, massive one, but it was big enough to where with the front flipper, it kind of broke the aesthetics a little, kind of broke it up. And they decided not to go with the front flipper. I believe that was Chris's call. I'm pretty sure that was, if I remember my talks with him right. And I'm so happy they got rid of that front flipper. And you guys know, I love a front flipper, but man, oh man, the way this thing looks without the front flipper, and still as nice as it is to kick that blade out, I'm really, really happy they got rid of that front flipper. I think that was an excellent decision. I think it really perfected this knife. The handle is about as good as it can get for me. You just got that one grip position, but it's really, really good, really comfy. All the contouring on this handle and titanium and the milling, it feels great. The blade is great. The action is very, very smooth. I think it's still going to break in a little too. I've carried this thing for like 3 days, and it still has kind of that out of the box feel to it. So really, really excited to see this thing break in a little more. But as you can see, it's still pretty darn smooth. But it's just an excellent design. It's in all honesty, it's probably one of my favorite designs of the year, just from a pure aesthetic standpoint. It's so good, very smooth. It's like that that fashionable mid-size EDC. Like it's so damn good. Really, really enjoying this one. Again, it's definitely more for middle finger flickers. I think you can do, I honestly I haven't tried. Yeah, it's probably not a thumb flicker. I think it's definitely more just a middle finger flicker, but you know what? That's totally fine with me because that is my preferred form of deployment anyway. As you can see, it has a very satiny blade, so you may want to carry a hank with you to keep it wiped off and fresh. But yeah, this was crushed in my opinion. Excellent design. I think a pretty solid value too. S90V. Very nice milled titanium, got a lot of nice little details such as the hidden clip or the hidden screw on the clip, T8s all around. It's really hard to pick this apart for 200 bucks. I think it's a very solid offering, excellent knife, and it is a looker and a user in every sense of the word. I'm not gonna set it down because it looks better just like this. Let me know what you guys think of this satyr. It is available. It is available right now. There's a link below if you want to pick one up. And I don't anticipate this one to be around for long. I think it's actually been out for a couple days, and I'm very surprised it's not sold out yet. So if you want one, I'd probably recommend hopping on it sooner than later. Let me know what you guys think of the satyr. Really hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and until the next one, I'm out.